Sweet Pea Chef, and today I want to talk to you about all of these crazy amounts of hidden sugar that's in your food, in some of the products that you're buying, probably that are in your pantry right now. These are really common things that we all buy and we don't really think about. So today I'm gonna show you a bunch of foods that have shockingly high amounts of hidden sugar and what you can do about it. So let's get started. All right, before going any further, if you are new to my channel, please go and subscribe so you never miss my new weekly recipe videos and health and wellness videos, and hit that bell so you get notified of any time I publish a new video. So something that isn't really that sweet that you might not have guessed has a lot of sugar is pasta sauce. Pasta sauce has a ton of added sugars in there that aren't necessary. In just a regular pasta sauce, if you take a look at the ingredients, sugar is the fourth ingredient in here. And that means that there's added sugars and there's 7 grams of sugar for a half of a cup of this sauce. So that is pretty dang high. So I would recommend looking for a pasta sauce like the Organics 365 brand. They have absolutely no added sugar in the ingredients list, which is a really biggie. And it has 4 grams of total sugar in a serving. But you know that that's just from the naturally occurring tomatoes in there rather than added sugars. So it's a huge difference in what your body is gonna do with that sugar once it gets it. And it's not just like a bunch of processed sugar in your body. So peanut butter, a lot of people think, oh, I'm having all these healthy peanuts and I'm getting a lot of protein. And yes, it is a higher protein food than other options, but there's often a lot of hidden sugars and especially added sugars if you don't pay attention. So like in here, it goes peanuts and then sugar followed by palm oil, which is its own issue. Now, this is a natural brand, and natural doesn't always mean no added sugar. So you have to really pay attention to the ingredients list. This is a better option than some. Some have just like high fructose corn syrup in there. This one just has sugar in there as an added sugar. If you can and you like the flavor, because I feel like this natural is actually a natural, this one has basically peanuts and it contains 1% or less of added salt. So if you like a little bit of a salty flavor with your peanut butter, this is a really good option and there's no added sugars. You get all the same amount of protein and it tastes just as good. So definitely look for one with no added sugar. So ketchup has a ton of added sugar. Oftentimes it is high fructose corn syrup that they're adding into it. You want to pay attention to the ingredients. This one has organic sugar, which is just sugar in here, and it has 3 grams of added sugar for 1 tablespoon. So a lot of added sugar in this. Now, a lot of people go and get no sugar added ketchup, which, okay, that sounds great, right? There's no sugar added into it. The problem is they're adding in sucralose as their added sweetener, and that's just fake sugar. So it's just another way of adding unnecessary sugar in there. But if you need to have ketchup, make your own. I have a recipe on the blog and on YouTube that you can just make your own homemade ketchup, and that's using raw honey as an example for your sweetener. So it's definitely a more healthy, unrefined version of ketchup. Cinnamon applesauce, how could this be bad? It has little eyes on there and everything, right? The problem is, let me read to you the ingredients. Apples, high fructose corn syrup, and ascorbic acid and some natural flavors, right? So in 1 pouch, your kids are getting 14 grams of sugar, and 7 of those, half of those sugar grams, are from added sugars, from that high fructose corn syrup, which is absolutely horrid for your body. So you definitely want to, if you are gonna get applesauce, which is a perfectly good option, get unsweetened applesauce. Apples are sweet, they're a fruit. They have fructose in them, naturally occurring fructose, even without any added sugar. In the ingredients, by the way, it's organic apples. Your total sugars in here is 12 grams, and that's naturally occurring. No bad stuff in here, and this is basically what apples should be rather than having all that high fructose corn syrup added in there. But while we're also on the topic of applesauce, most of all of the nutrients and the fiber from the peel of the apples is taken from this, and so even a better option is to eat an apple. So kind of think about that in terms of how far away removed are you from the actual whole food. So we all drink sports drinks thinking that that's good for us, right? But let's go through this. So Gatorade, as the ingredients, it goes water, sugar, dextrose, which is another sugar, about 5 other ingredients that I can't pronounce, and then glycerol, and then caramel color, and then artificial red food coloring. Not a healthy sports drink, nothing that an athlete should really be drinking anyway. This entire thing is 2.5 servings. For 1 serving, you're getting 21 grams of added sugar. 21 grams of added sugar. If you drank the whole thing, it's 55 grams of sugar. That is a spike to your system. Your body is not gonna enjoy that. Even if you're depleting yourself completely during a workout or exercise or sports of some sort, this isn't gonna make it better. This is basically just gonna give you an insulin kick and just increase your blood sugar levels, and then it's just gonna fail and drop. Let's look at the ingredients in this one. So water, fructose, and then cane sugar, and then a bunch of other flavors and a bunch of other things in here that are fake. It does have electrolytes in it, it does have vitamins in it. You can get that in a piece of fruit though. You don't really need to drink a fake water. So for 1 serving of this, which is an entire bottle, you're getting 26 grams of added sugar. Naturally occurring sugar is not happening in this. It's just not a great option either. So if you are feeling like you need some help during a workout, try water. Water gives you a ton of energy. It replenishes all the things that you need when you're working out. You really don't need added sugars. And if you really, really hate just plain water, I have a video on infused water so you can add in real fruits, real foods to kind of flavor it for you. Make it a tiny bit sweeter as well. Let's start with the protein one. So one might see this at the store and be like, oh snap, it has protein in it. It's gonna be a great option. Not only do I get a little snack, I also get my protein. So the first ingredients in there include, so you have roasted peanuts, which that's great, but then it goes into chocolate chips, which has a bunch of sugar in them, palm oils, which aren't good for you, sugar, it also has corn syrup, it also has fructose, it also has glycerin, and it's just basically for 1 bar, you're getting 7 grams of sugar, which if that were naturally occurring, it's not horrible for a snack, but 5 of those are added sugars, and I just read to you, none of those added sugars are naturally occurring added sugars. They're just a bunch of fake sugar that's basically gonna give you an energy spike, and then your energy is gonna drop down even further. It's gonna just make your body just crave more sugar, and you're gonna go into this endless cycle of needing more and more sugar, more and more empty carbs to replenish your energy. The same goes even 25% less sugar, right? Which I'm glad that they're adding less sugar to it. It still has, as like the second ingredient, it has brown sugar. And then it has polydextrose and glycerin in there, and caramel color, which is, I know we're not talking about food coloring, but caramel colors really don't have anything that has caramel coloring in it. It's really not good for you. Instead, try to have like a piece of fruit or some nuts. That's a much better option than like a granola bar. Cliff Bars, we think are options that are really healthy for us. They're gonna give us a ton of energy. The problem with that is the first ingredient is organic brown rice syrup, which is just a fancy organic way of saying sugar. It also has just organic cane syrup, again, another fancy way of saying sugar. 1 bar is 250 calories, and it has 21 grams of sugar. So 21 grams of sugar is quite a lot for a little bar that's not gonna really fill you up. And it's a bunch of fake sugar. If you have the ability, I would go for some like full-fat cottage cheese or full-fat Greek yogurt or some tofu or something that has a high protein content that's actually real food. So I wanted to bring up what probably a lot of us might have grabbed thinking this is a healthy option. We have organic, we have low-fat, we have a bunch of things. We have even, it says gluten-free. You know, you pay attention to that marketing. The more things they throw at you on the front, the more likely there's an issue on the back. So let's take a look at the ingredients. So the 4th ingredient in here is organic evaporated sugar cane syrup. Okay, so a serving is 1 cup. How much sugar do you think should be in a cup of yogurt? Just like think about that in your head. My guess is it's not gonna be 37 grams of sugar. That's more than a Gatorade. Like that is so much sugar to be adding to your food. Now you're also getting 10 grams of protein, but you're getting, because it's low fat, you're not even getting the full amount of fat in there that's gonna make you feel full. So they took out the fat, which makes you less full, and they added a bunch of sugar, which is gonna give you an energy spike, and then you're gonna have a crash, and you're gonna want more sugar to get more energy. So instead of that, go with full fat, unsweetened Greek yogurt. It is so good for you. Let me compare the ingredients. So in this one, you get 15 grams of protein in 1 cup. You get 5 grams of sugar for an entire cup. There's no added sugar in this. This is a great option. If you need it a little bit sweet, that is fine too. Just add some raw honey on top, add some pure maple syrup, add some fresh fruit. Any of those are gonna be way better to have a healthy, high protein, high fat snack. Just the name granola kind of implies that it's healthy, right? The problem is that most often it's not. So this one is by Kind. It says healthy grains and it's maple quinoa clusters. It has all the right stuff going for it. Your brain kind of thinks that it's healthy and it's not. It's gonna be super high in sugar for you, right? So the problem is that when you start to take a look at it, you look at the ingredients list, the third ingredient is dried cane syrup. You're like, well, shoot, that's kind of bad. But then you just keep reading. Then it's maple syrup. Then it's molasses. Then it's brown rice syrup. And that's like half of the ingredients in here are a sweetener. They're not measuring any, well, I guess they have maple in the name, but like they're not saying how high in sugar it is. So a serving of this is giving you 10 grams of sugar. So compare that to Purely Elizabeth, which I think does a much better job of, while they do add sweeteners to their foods, they do it a lot less crazily. So their ingredient that they use to sweeten things, the only one that they use is organic coconut sugar. Organic coconut sugar, if you've watched my video on how to quit sugar, is a much better option for sweeteners because it's naturally occurring and has other fibers in there, it has other nutrients than just fake sugar. This is kind of a sad one. This kind of hurts my heart to read this to you. The second ingredient in here is high fructose corn syrup. In tomato soup. It's like absolutely insane. It's kind of disappointing. It's very disappointing. So in terms of the macros on this, for a half of a cup of a serving, which is about, there's 2.5 servings in here, which when do you ever just have like that much tomato soup? But for a half of a cup of a serving, you're getting 12 grams of sugar. 12 grams of sugar in your soup, in your salty soup. It doesn't make any sense. So if you're gonna be getting soup, I highly recommend making your own. I have a super easy tomato soup recipe that has naturally occurring sugars, absolutely no added sugar in it. All right, so next up is something that is marketed in a way to make you think that it's good for you. And those are wheat thins, and I'm pretty sure that they call them thins on purpose to kind of make you feel like you're gonna be thin if you eat them. It says 100% whole grain, no artificial flavors or colors, and it's something that one might grab thinking that they're having a healthy snack. The problem is there's some hidden sugars in there, along with other hidden, highly processed ingredients. So if we go to the ingredients label, we'll see the third ingredient is sugar. It also has malt syrup, which is another type of sugar. It also has refiner's syrup. I don't know what that is, I'm guessing it's sugar. And so that makes it all to be a total of 5 grams of sugar per 16 pieces of the wheat thins, and 4 of those are added sugars. So you're getting a ton of sugar in these. They might as well be cookies if you're gonna have that much sugar in something, especially if you're thinking, oh, well, this is my non-sugary snack. So definitely you wanna pay attention to the ingredients labels and how much you're getting in there. A great option to have if you really need a crispy, kind of crunchy, savory kind of chip is to go with something like a Triscuit. These are just sold at all the stores. I just picked this up as just an option that you could pick up. It's made with sea salt and the ingredients are whole grain wheat, organic pressed sunflower oil, and sea salt. So no sugar added to these. So if you are trying to avoid having added sugars, this is the way to go. Total sugars in here, 0. We haven't really talked too much about fake sugars and artificial sugars. So something like this, which is a 0-calorie, 0 added sugar drink. The fake sugar that they add here is sucralose. Sucralose is basically, it's like Splenda. If you take sugar and you like chemically alter it, then that turns into sucralose. Your body thinks this is sugar. Your body has an insulin spike because of this to bring your blood sugar levels down. So in addition to all of the other stuff that's in here that's giving you a bunch of energy spikes, this is definitely not a good option either. So just because it has no sugar in it, you gotta pay attention to how it's sweetened. If you need something to give you some energy, you could have coffee, you could have black tea, green tea. Any of those are gonna give you energy. If you think about it, you're basically taking, just like with applesauce, you're taking your whole food, you're taking away all of the fibers of it, all the stuff that takes a while to digest and to break down, and you're basically getting the sweet sugary drink from that naturally occurring fruit, right? So orange juice is the same way. For 8 ounces, so for 1 cup of this orange juice, you're getting 23 grams of sugar. That is a lot of sugar to be drinking that quickly. Kind of consider water instead, and if you really want that flavor, have the whole fruit instead. It's so much better for you. Also, if you think about how many of these it'll take to get into a cup of these, that's a lot of oranges to get into 1 cup of orange juice. Typically, you're not gonna eat more than 1 orange. You're gonna have just 1. But if you're having a cup of orange juice, you're probably eating a total of like 4 or 5 oranges, which is more than your body needs. It's more than any sugar amount you ever would need. It's everywhere, you guys. It's just all the places that manufacturers want you to buy more of their stuff, they're gonna add sugar in there. All right, let me know what foods I missed in the comments below. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up so I know to make more of them. And I will see you in the next video.